everybody. We are back. This is the Chuck and Ruck Show. I am one half. This is Chuck. Ruck will be back with us soon. We will be going over the AFC East. But in the meantime, there's some other big news breaking that I wanted to get to. We have a new wrinkle in the Brittney Griner situation, and also Mike Trout. It has been reported recently, the last day or so, that Mike Trout is suffering from a rare back condition called vertebral dysfunction. Excuse me. It is reported that it will be a chronic injury, something that he will have to deal with. Me being a baseball fan, probably bigger than any other sport for the majority of my life since I was about 3 or 4, however age I was when I started, actually paying attention to what was on TV. But baseball is my first love. I'm a big time Indians/Guardians fan. But I just love greatness. I love watching great players. And Mike Trout, he is this generation's probably greatest hitter. Probably the greatest hitter in baseball over the last decade or so. Most consistent. I know he's well over 300 home runs, and probably on his way to 500. It probably would be tough for him to catch Barry Bonds' record of 762. That's probably out of the question. But he's probably guaranteed to hit at least 500. Over 500 for his career. And at one point, that was the magic number, to kind of guarantee your spot in Cooperstown. Love watching Trout, beautiful swing. He's a great outfielder, fast, very fast around the bases. I know he used to steal more bases earlier in his career, but, he still has that speed. But one has to wonder, he's been missing a lot of games lately. Is his career going to be cut short, because of this injury? I know he came out and kind of refuted the claim and say, he'll be able to deal with it and handle it. But, at what point is it going to get too unbearable? I mean, because if you think about it, the Angels, they've spent a lot of money over the last, 12, 15 years. I know they spent all that money, snatching Albert Pujols away from the Cardinals. They signed Mike Trout to this monster, $426 million deal, 12 years. They just signed him to that, and they're going to have to pay Ohtani in a couple years. So one has to wonder, are they going to feel buyer's remorse because they're giving this guy all this money and his career may be cut short? Do they have any stipulations? That's what I'm wondering. Any stipulations in the contract where they could possibly get out of the deal, or only a certain amount is guaranteed, or the full amount? Because it'll be sad. Another great athlete you're thinking of, what could have been. But hopefully he is able to continue his career on that historic path that he's on, and he can just continue to rise up them charts. I know it'd be tough to catch guys like I said, Barry Bonds. I know he's a RBI machine. Mike Trout is. It was thought that he might even be able to catch Hammer and Hank, with 2,200 RBIs. That would be awesome to see, just strictly as a fan of the game, to see greatness. And even Pete Rose, with his 4,200 hits. Now that probably will be, kind of impossible for anybody to do. Pete Rose was a little bit before my time, but you just look at this guy's stats, man. They're amazing. Like, man, it seemed like every game he was getting 2, 3 hits. Like, probably the greatest eye ever. Next to probably nobody. He's probably the best, but the best pure hitter that I've seen in my career is probably Ichiro Suzuki. Like, that guy was amazing. I know he came into the league when he was older. He had been playing over in Asia, over Japan and stuff, in those leagues for a long time before he was able to make the transition to the, major leagues. But, Ichiro, I think he could have been a guy that got close to Pete Rose, if not past him. Just think, if he came over to major leagues when he was 18, 19, made the majors at 2021, and, that would have been 7, 8 more years added to his career total of hits. That would have been historic, just to be able to see him accomplish these feats. But, like I said, Mike Trout, he probably more than likely, it's pretty safe to say that he won't catch Pete Rose, but he has a chance, and a lot of people, a lot of baseball purists, say if he does get to 600 home runs and and he's up there somewhere close, to the top guys, they will look at him as the official home run leader, because like I said, a lot of the baseball purists, they don't count Bonds' home runs. They look at them, tainted. I know the whole situation, the PEDs, the alleged PED use, and all of that. But man, Bonds' whole career, he was awesome. Like, one of the greatest athletes ever in any sport. But for that 5, 7 year stretch, whew, like, it was either a walk or he was blasting at 400 feet. Like, Bonds is the my favorite baseball player of all time. And I'm not ashamed to say it, even with the alleged PED use, to me, he's the greatest ever, because, just awesome to watch, man. And I think back to the 98 home run chase with McGuire and Sosa. Like, that was amazing. I remember watching that when I was a kid. I didn't really, pay too much attention to the steroid use or anything like that. Heck, nobody did, or everybody just covered their eyes. Nobody, wanted to see it. But yeah, that home run chase with McGuire and Sosa was awesome. Those are just some of the guys that, was amazing. Hopefully Mike Trout one day, he can begin to reach those records or get close to them. And, I just remember ESPN cutting in and showing these guys every at bat. It was, it was pretty intense. Even Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez. Those are my other 2 favorite players of all time. Like, those guys were amazing, man. And, it's steroid scandals around them and possible use or whatever. But, baseball has been going on over 100 years, man. And I've heard stories, guys just, being doped up, all type of stuff, snorting cocaine and all type of stuff before games. So, it kind of is what it is. You don't want to see the children try to emulate that stuff and, inject themselves and, try to make the majors. That's not cool, because children, high school kids, they looking for the edge, and, they see their favorite players doing it. I just wish that they wouldn't do that. You know, you want to see the kids develop and, you know, become adults and not cut their lives short because they're trying to, you know, reach that level that their favorite players have gotten to. But yeah, we just hope the best for Mike Trout, that he can continue amazing us and continue reaching them record books, you know, and getting history, you know, just being a great player. Because it would suck, man. So many players that could have been, that you just think like, wow, like this guy was on the pace to, you know, really, 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 you know, stamp his mark in the history books. But you know, it is what it is. You know, we just send our thoughts and prayers to Mike Trout, and hopefully he can keep it up, man. You know, we love you, Trout. But bigger story going on right now is the as I mentioned in the opening, is the new wrinkle in the Brittney Griner situation. I know that she recently came out and said she wasn't read her rights and she didn't really know what was going on when she was detained. A little backstory for those of you that don't know. She was detained in Moscow because she had 2 cartridges of liquid marijuana that she smoked in her vape. You know, she is prescribed it for chronic pain, but it's in America and in her home state. So she in a totally different country, you know, carrying that stuff. I mean, you know, it's cool to use it at home, but you got to think, like, you can't even take that stuff from state to state legally. Like, you got to check the laws from state to state. But you flying overseas to a totally different country with totally different rules and laws and regulations. You know, you got to be smarter than that. I know she said it was an accident. Maybe her wife packed it or, you know, whatever. Nobody made that part clear. But, you know, the point is she got caught and she's facing 10 years. Now, recently they said President Biden, he is negotiating to release a arms dealer who is in federal prison here in America. He's serving 25 years, and Biden is trying to negotiate to release him for Brittney Griner and one more American citizen. I didn't figure out who that citizen was. You know, it's not that it's not important or anything. I just did not find the person's name. But you know, I want to see Brittney Griner home like the rest. You know, like everybody else. You know, she deserved to be with her family. You know, I know she got a set of twins, and you know, I know they missing them like crazy. Like I'm gone for a few hours a day, and my children, you know, I come home, all of them, all 5 of them. They run, jump on me, you know, Daddy, I missed you. So I can't imagine being away from them that long, you know, as long as I believe it's been about 7, 8 months now. So, you know, her family's missing her. She got a wife that loves her, you know. Well, like I said, this is a dangerous precedent being set. You know, because the guy, he's, you know, he was facing terrorism charges over in Thailand in 2008, and in 2011 he got transported here and, you know, went to trial or whatever. But you know, this guy, he's not a nice guy. Like, you know, he was charged here with conspiracy to kill American citizens and American officials. Like, who's to say if you let this guy out? You know, this is just one issue that I have with it. Who's to say if you let this guy out that he's not going to continue with what he was doing? That he's not going to try again and be successful this time and kill a bunch of Americans, you know? Who's to say that he's not going to put guns in the wrong group of people's hands and they don't go out and commit another, you know, a September 11th type attack? I know that's may sound a bit extreme, but you got to think about this stuff. Like, you letting this guy out. You're not gonna let him out with a freaking radar detector in him where every move. No, he's gonna be free to do whatever he pleases. And the second issue I have, you letting this guy out. Who's to say other countries won't say, you mean to tell me if I just take this American citizen who's coming over here and detain him, I can force the United States to let out one of our people that they have locked up? Like, you got to think about that, because like I said, this is dangerous precedence being set, man. And like I said, I want Brittney Griner home too, but you got to think about that. You got to think about your actions, because Joe Biden, let's face it, he like any other politician. It don't matter if you right wing, left wing. It don't matter. Politician is a politician, and believe me, I know a lot of them. I done talked to a lot of them off the record. A lot of them personally. Sat down with their families, and a lot of stuff you wouldn't believe. And a lot of them don't care about the things that they say or do. All they focused on is getting reelected, getting a new donation to their campaign. And you got to think, Biden, he gonna be running for re-election. It might be Trump again, or it might be, another Republican that he run against. I don't think this country is ready for a third-party president just yet. So chances are it's gonna be another Republican candidate that goes against Biden. But yeah, Biden, it's not like he cares, and he has a heart and sympathy for Brittney Griner. Not just her, like the average person. His mind is on his political agenda. Like, this dude's been in politics longer than I've been alive, so that's not stopping. He gonna probably be doing that to the day he dies. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not hating on him. Do what you do. You do what you feel that makes you happy. But don't get it twisted. He's not doing it out of the kindness of his heart. My thinking is he's doing it because he wants to win over the American people, right? Near the election. So when it comes up, he can say in his campaign speech, and in the little debates that they have, like, hey, I freed Brittney Griner. She is an American sports icon, two-time gold medalist, one of the greatest college basketball players of all time, probably one or two greatest WNBA players of all time. She's not just a female athlete, like athlete period. She's one of the most notable athletes of all time. So it'll look good on Biden's resume if he's able to free her and get her home safely. A lot of people had questions about her being over there and saying the WNBA players are cheated, they're not making enough money, and they should be making as much as the men NBA players, and it ain't happening. I'm gonna tell you, it ain't happening. First of all, they don't generate the type of money the NBA does. Like, let's be clear. Like, you can have all these players, the Steph Currys, the LeBrons, the Chris Pauls, the whoever, come out and say the WNBA players should make as much as we do. But, as a business owner myself, man, it's about the bottom line. If you only bringing in a certain amount, what do I look like losing money paying you just out of the kindness of my heart? Like, let's get real. Like, you all got jobs and you all got careers. You probably got good careers, make a lot of money, but it's at that position, at that company or whatever you at, it's a cap on that, because that company is only generating so much money. They're not going to pay you more money than they bringing in. Then what's the point? they're going to be out of business. So I know she's making 200. Last year she made 227,000. Like, that's a lot of money. I don't care what you do. That's a lot of bread. Like, you know, hopefully she's not living above her means, because, she over there in Russia playing on their national team, making a little extra money. Like I said, once again, I ain't mad at her. You want to chase that bag. But, 227,000, that's a lot of bread. Like, you should be able to live off of that with 2 children and a wife. Like I said, I got 5 children and a wife. I don't make nearly that amount of money, and we all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do better, man. We gotta be more accountable for ourselves. Her situation, she not knowing. Like, you traveling like that overseas, I understand somebody might want to pack your bag for you, but you got to make sure, that's on you to make sure what's in your luggage. Pretty sure somebody put a gun in there, you would have knew that. You ain't just going to let that slide, so don't let this slide, and don't think just because it's good here, it's good over there, because that ain't the situation. She could have talked to her agent, some lawyers, got legal advice, and, figured out some things, talked to some medical professionals. I'm pretty sure they would have told her, like, hey, like, nah, that ain't gonna work. Don't do that. Or, you over there in Moscow for a while, I'm not sure if they even allow legal marijuana, but, you could have inquired. Maybe she did inquire and they said no. I don't know, but I'm just looking from the outside, like, look and see, like, do y'all got medical marijuana? Like, I'm dealing with these chronic issues, and, I need it to stay, stable physically in my current state, but it's things that could have been done. But, like I said, I'm hoping the best for her. I'm hoping she come home. But, it's consequences to your actions, man. So if the United States and Joe Biden and his administration follows through with this, it can be some ramifications that happen. It might not happen now. It could be 20, 25 years from now. Something might go down and we might look back in history and say, wow, this was the same guy. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't want to sound like doom and gloom or anything like that, but hey, I just keep it real with y'all. You can't sugarcoat everything. So we praying for Brittney Griner, her safe release, and we praying for Mike Trout, that he able to continue crushing these records, and make it to Cooperstown, and we can witness greatness. That's all I'm about. But appreciate y'all for checking us out. And our next episode, we will have the AFC East breakdown, training camp time. So, the guys getting in there, doing their thing. And, we got to make our predictions about what's going on. But I appreciate y'all for checking me out. Once again, it's the Truck and Ruck Show. And we will see you. And until next time.